Hello guys, I have another update on the Liebherr 900 excavator. So as you heard in the last video, we're going to use these small servos in the arm, and I have the first one here, so I just thought I'd show you how that works. So as you can see, it's quite low. I haven't had to cut into any of the labels on the side of the arm or anything, but obviously this is going to be pretty underpowered. It's a very small servo. It is, however, working okay like this without a load. So this is zero load. If you start putting weight in the bucket, it's probably going to start to struggle, I would guess. But that's just a little example. I'm sure it's fine. It probably will be okay with, say, a coffee grind. Maybe if you had wet sand or something, it would struggle to move it. But I think it's going to be okay with coffee grind. And the reason the movement is so free here is because I've been careful to make sure that this joint is pretty loose. It's not tightly squeezed in there. And also on the cylinder here, I've cut the piece off the back which normally holds it in position. So as you can see, the arm is currently held here. If I lift it up, it stays in that position. So you have to put pressure on it to make it to move. And that's because in the back of the cylinder, actually I'll just show you. I'll take this one off. It's the same on all of the cylinders on this. So when we take the piston part or the ram part out of the cylinder, you can see this little split in the back here, and there is kind of little friction grooves. It's nothing really, just in the plastic is slightly wider on a little ring on the outside of these two grooves. So that means when you push this in, those two grooves are pushing against the outer wall of this cylinder piece, and that means that it squeezes that part in, and that provides just enough friction to hold the cylinder in position. So you can see there it's not going to fall out. That, however, is an issue when we are trying to push it with our servo, because we don't want to waste energy unnecessarily pushing against this friction part, especially when it has, you know, extra leverage as you're trying to pull it back through your mechanism. And we don't have a very long servo arm on this little servo, so all of that would add up and, you know, ruin our day basically. But as you can see, I just have the servo arm coming to a little steel push rod. I then drilled 3 little holes just along the boom there, so I had some room to adjust up here to change the lever, and also if I'd wanted, I had room to adjust here. But because the arm is already so low, I'm just sticking with the outer limit. So we can try moving into a closer one. If I go into the furthest one, the advantage will be on the arm, so it'll be harder for the servo to push it. The servo won't have as much leverage anymore. But it's still able to push it. So that's the way I intend to do all of the mechanisms on the boom, except maybe the largest raise and lower. I'll probably put a slightly larger servo in there just to carry the whole weight, and then maybe if we're lucky we'll be able to maybe carry a little bit of weight in the bucket on this. But for now, this little servo seems to be working pretty perfectly for what I'm trying to do. I'm not sure if it's going to be able to power this movement. So this movement here, that's this cylinder. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to power that with this little servo, but we'll give it a go, because to fit a bigger servo is going to take up a lot of space. And don't forget, in here we also need to have our servo or our motor for our pivoting mechanism. So we've a long way to go, but so far it's looking so good. So that was just a little update to let you know how I'm getting on with this servo arm. When I get the rest of the servos in the boom, I'll give you another update and we should be able to show you the entire mechanism working. Not sure how I'm going to demo that because I really only have 3 outputs on this, but we'll work it out some way. So thanks very much for watching, and don't forget to hit the like button and get subscribed if you're not already subscribed.